All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. All right, before we start dissecting this P2B and Yemi Osibanjo situation, let's talk about basically going to our website. All right, getting our songs, getting our podcasts, getting to watch our unscripted sessions on YouTube. Subscribing to our channels on all platforms, all major platforms, from iTunes to Spotify to Boomplay to Google and all that. All right. Also get our merchandise, all right, branded merchandise from our website shop, from our website store, which is basically www.projectsol.com, www.theprojectsol.com/shop, or you can simply give to what we do. I mean, we do a lot of wonderful things, a lot of beautiful things for the gospel, a lot of content for God's people. So you can just go to www.theprojectsol.com/give and make your one-time donation or a regular donation, all right, monthly, weekly, whatever I want to do. We will love it. We'll be grateful. All right, so let's jump into this thing. Okay, why am I doing this topic? Why? It's not really. I don't think there's a situation right now, at least as I time of recording this, where P2B and Osibanjo are contesting or looking at each other, on different sides of the situation of the art. However, I posted this on social media one time, and I said, I think it was on WhatsApp, so not necessarily on IG and Facebook. And I said, I posted P2B's picture when he declared he wanted to go for presidency, and I said, this is the only reason why I may get to the polls next year, all right, in 2023. This is the only reason. And somebody was like, oh, why P2B? Is it that intelligence? How is his intelligence going to help, help the country and everything? The truth is, if you do your research, you find out that P2B is out there. Okay, people know him, people have heard of him. P2B is presently one of the reasons why people want to leave the idea of tribalism and geopolitical zoning and just focus on merit. He's the only reason right now. Yes, he's an Igbo guy. He is the former governor of Anambra State. In fact, he's so worked on Anambra State that right now, if you don't have a background in finance, if you don't have a background in banking or finance, they won't consider you for governor. I'm telling you right now, Soludo is the governor. If you know who Soludo is, Charles Soludo was the former CBN governor under Obasanjo. Obasanjo's administration was a highly intellectual cabinet, a highly intellectual setup. Yes, Obasanjo got the best. When I mean OBJ, General Olusegun Obasanjo, when he became civilian president in '99, he went and got the best of the best to work with him, from economy to security to media, pardon me, to food and drugs and all that. He got the best of the best. He insisted on getting the best, and one of them was Soludo. Okay, Soludo. I mean, and you see it in the things he did. I mean, who becomes CBN governor, does such a wonderful job, consolidates, does major. In fact, there are so many things he wanted to do that politicians didn't let him do because he didn't have enough political capital. But he still performed, did well. Till today, I think he's still the best, at least in the Fourth Republic. He's still the best central bank governor we've had. And he did all that, left office, and he didn't go somewhere and just swallow money. And he didn't go somewhere and just say, okay, yes, you have money now. He went back to lecturing. He went back to school to lecture. He went to the classes. I mean, he didn't need their money. He was eating forex money. But he was lecturing and he was building young minds. Then he decided to come back to politics and went for governorship of Anambra State and won. As in, he won so easily. He won so easily. You understand? So, I mean, the election that they thought was going to be violent and everything, people were going to be killed and there will be riots. No, it was smooth because everybody wanted him. They've seen the standard P2B set. Obiano came in because Obiano too was coming from the finance. So when Soludo showed up, they were like, yes, because he has track record. So P2B has track record. Okay, P2B has somebody. Why I'm doing this again? Like I said, someone asked me, yes, why P2B? Why do you think P2B? What's with all this P2B noise? And I told the person, maybe you've not heard him speak. Yeah, people who don't know P2B, they don't hear him speak. If you hear him speak, you will not forget. He's this man with this feminine voice and this thick Igbo accent, but yet such depth, such understanding. He's relatable. He's not like these wealthy people who are in power, who have no relationship with people who are in lower classes. They are like, I have money, I have power, I'm up there, that's it. Every other person should go to hell. So you have people in power who don't know what it means to say no more motorcycles running the road, no more Okada on the road. They will just wake up and just make laws. You don't know what it means for you to say, okay, we want to put this on under construction without checking the cost-benefit analysis to the people. You know what I mean? So they just make these rules. They just make decisions, be oblivious of the people who actually put them in power. The only time you see them being relatable is when they're campaigning. So they go to the streets and they're eating corn on the road, and they are helping people, bricklayers, and they're helping people sell pure water, and they are looking stupid because we know that they are very stupid. Okay? But then you see somebody like this who is purely merit. He's just based on merit. It's not because he's an Igbo guy or he's from any tribe. He's not. You can hear that he is an Igbo guy. He's clear. But when you hear him speak, there's an intelligence to this guy that goes beyond tribalism. Okay. If he was not going, maybe I would consider Osibanjo. Yes, because he's the next intellectual person. We are tired of we've had the only person that delivered. That's at least I'm using the Fourth Republic. This is the Fourth Republic is what we have here. All right, and if you go before the Fourth Republic, there are a lot of analysis we need to do, and we might not. I mean, it's military rule, civilian rule, and all that. But from Obasanjo to Yar'Adua to Goodluck Jonathan to Buhari, the best has been Obasanjo. And not because Osibanjo is highly educated, but because Osibanjo surrounded himself with highly educated people who knew how to get things done, people who were work-oriented. I mean, Osibanjo got to the point of paying people in dollars just to get them to work for him. Yes, there's some people, I don't want to mention it, some people was paying in dollars just to get. I mean, his administration had Akwili, had the Ezekwesili, had Soludo, had the Ribadu. I mean, then after him, mediocrity, and now we are at the verge of another election, and thankfully, this man is coming up. Right from 2016, when I heard him speak at the platform, I said, if this guy goes for presidency, I'll vote for him. I'll vote for him with joy. Now, I can't vouch for anybody. I can't say he will deliver. I can't say he will not go there and just steal money and sell Nigeria and walk away. I can't. All you can do is use rational expectation, or at least adaptive expectation. These are principles in economics. Adaptive expectation is simply saying we have seen what has happened in the past, and from what we have seen in the past, we can predict what will happen in the future. Okay? If we use that method, if we had used that method well, Buhari would not even have made it into the office. Okay? If we use rational expectation, we say, okay, rational expectation is basically based on the numbers we are seeing now, based on the facts and figures we have now currently, we can plot a formula that can help us succeed in the future. We can plot a formula based on theory, based on logical reasoning. We can get a formula that can assure us success in the future. That's rational expectation. Okay, so even if we use adaptive or use rational, P2B works. Yemi too may work. I'll tell you why Yemi does not completely work for me. A lot of people want him to be. I mean, people have prophesied. I mean, the other day I saw a video of Apostle Joseph Suleiman prophesying. You know, he didn't say exactly, but he said, you know, he said I think the second will be the first or something. The second will take over, or something like that. Basically, by implication, he was simply saying, you know, you just assume that he's saying that Yemi will become the president, or that Yemi should become the president. But I don't want that. Honestly, okay. As much as I want to, as much as I trust Apostle Joseph Suleiman to be a man of God. Okay, I trust him to be a man of God. I mean, he's a solid man of God. Yet, in my heart of hearts, I don't want him to become, because I don't. Honestly, we'll get to him. We'll get to him first. I want to play some videos, because I wish that person who had asked me why P2B, I would have played him this video, but I didn't have. I think it was a she. I would have played her this video, but I didn't have this video. So let me play it now, so you can at least you can hear why. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Do I come here? Let me see. Okay, I think there's an issue with the network. Well, this should play in no time. This was at the platform. P2B was at the platform, and the guy was off. He didn't have a script. He was just his topic was to speak on. He was supposed to speak on cutting cost, okay, and governance, cutting cost. And the guy didn't come with it, as he was just pacing the stage and he was delivering deep things that we would have known, things that governors will hide from us, okay, and we would know. And he was just exposing these things to us, okay. So let me see. Okay, play. It should be playing by now. I don't know why this network is taking this while to play.
Yes, you. Okay. I know they say statistics don't work, but I need to use a few statistics to tell you how good and bad things are and what you can do based on what every speaker here has said. This year, your country is expected to, our expected revenue for this year is 7.2 trillion from both the states and the federal government.
Now, what you should take from this is this: a lot of the politicians you guys support, okay, the ones who come in Baba Riga and Big Agbada, and they can't match this level of intellect. These are figures he's calling. This was 2016. These are figures he's calling off his head, as in he has no paper in front of him. He's just talking. These are figures he's giving, up-to-date figures that he's dropping right now. Okay, these are not things that you expect. You can get. You will not get it from these leaders that most of you support.
The expected expenditure is 11.4 trillion. It's 11.4 trillion. That's a deficit of about 4.2 trillion. This is the type of debts that have already been incurred a year ago by the same government. They will tell you today that Nigerian debt to GDP is under 20%, is small. That's what you hear. This year, the federal government provided for debt servicing 38% of their budget, of the revenue, 38% to service the debt. Because the revenue they are getting is not enough, half of the year they use 51% to service the debt, and they are borrowing more.
1%.
You will hear words like, we are going to spend our way out of recession. I'm sure you have heard it. There's nothing wrong in borrowing. Let me say it here. Just like we are talking about selling assets, there's nothing wrong in borrowing.
Fast forward this.
But the question is, what are you borrowing for? In a recession, the only way to come out of recession,
I'll leave it like that,
is to do what? Spend for growth. And you can only spend for growth either from savings or from borrowing. And since we don't have savings, you've heard it, how our savings were squandered, whether it's good, excess good, anything, by the governors. Everybody was right. The money is gone. But now, in order to spend, we need to borrow. And there's nothing wrong in borrowing. But the question is, what are you borrowing for? Are you borrowing?
You see, I hope you can see this video. If you get the chance, go and look at this video on YouTube. Everybody is shocked. everybody listening to this guy is shocked because they Anambra is on the other side of this is Lagos. Okay, I'm recording from Lagos. We are on the west coast. Anambra is somewhere inside Nigeria. So nobody is really interested in what's going on there. So we are seeing this guy speak for the first time. We are seeing that he has a very soft voice. Well, we've always known he had a soft voice. I mean, Ganifa used to yab him that this your voice is not helping you. As in, you're a good guy, but your voice is not helping you. So he has a soft voice. He has a thick accent. He's educated. If you check his biography, he's educated. This guy has gone to school, as in he has gone to schools. I mean, he has headed. Let me see if I can find. He has been the chairman of board of directors, CEO of banks and business outfits and securities companies, finance companies, fintech. I mean, he was the youngest chairman of Fidelity Bank. So he's not a joker. He's not you understand what I mean? So people were shocked that so you mean Nigeria has quality like this? And let's continue. What is it? The network? What is the problem? Play now. When
Anambra State in 2004, the Anambra Governor's House was burnt, the Governor's Lodge, as well as the Government House. Coincidentally, in 2006 when I started.
No, I think we've left where we're supposed to be. Let me see. Okay, this is where we were. Yeah, this is where we were.
For consumption. Are you borrowing for production?
Yeah, are you borrowing for consumption?
The fear is that we are borrowing for consumption because we can't see what we used the past borrowing or what we sold before for, and that is the crisis we face. And that is the critical thing everybody has to watch. When you borrow for consumption, when you have no savings, you're heading for a disaster. And I give you an example using two countries. When they talk about debt to GDP, the country with the highest debt to GDP is Japan. Japan debt to GDP is 246%. However, Japan have the highest net asset of any country in the world. They have 1.3 trillion in US bonds and dollar bonds and everything. So they have money, so they can afford to borrow. Greeks have 180%. Because they didn't have money, they collapsed.
All these numbers he's mentioning are from his head. All these numbers are from his head. As it is just walking around with a mic and just rambling, pointing out numbers, stats, and the formation. Deep. Oh, goodness.
Because there was no savings. And that is the crisis. So when you see people like me say when they wanted to give money to governors and say bailout, I was a governor, I should be supporting it. But I disagreed. I said, no, before we give them the money, let them tell us what they are doing because it is wrong for us to pay a bill of a drunk while he's still in the bar. He has to come out of the bar first and he will settle what he has drunk before. And that is where
it is wrong to pay the bill of a drunk man while he's still at the bar. Let us wait till he's done. Let him come out. Then we can now ask what has he consumed. If not, we'll pay a bill and he'll still be drinking. Oh my goodness. This guy was just dropping things. Let me see if we can. Let me see. I want to play another video. I think it's the same event. Let me see. I think it's the same event.
We have no reason to be in Abuja. They consider problem to the traveling public. They follow me to Abuja. I'm the one who is going to go to a meeting. Because they're idle and they're in hotel, they eat more. So I have a lot of bills to pay. In the end, every trip was costing me.
Oh my! Why is this not of really?
Every trip was costing me over 10 million. One trip.
Wow, this is a real problem. It's a real problem.
And there are times I do this 4 or 5 times in a month.
All right, so basically, this guy has been trying to cut costs, and every time he takes a trip, it's like everybody wants to go with him. Everybody wants to go. It's a trip now. I mean, when Buhari went to United States, God knows how many people went with him. Useless. They were useless on that trip. They had no business being on that trip, but everybody wanted to go with him. I remember it was this guy, Tony Bakari, that said that Buhari called him and asked him that he wanted him to be on that trip. Tony Bakari said, "No, I have an event. I have programmed that period." Those are the kind of people that want to have in government. People who are not crazy about nonsense. How do you say, "No, I don't want to be on this trip. I have an event"? This is the president that called you and said, "I need to be on this trip, going to the United States with all the luxurious reception that you will get and all this publicity that you get." He said no. That's Tunde Bakare now. This guy, if you watch this video, I think you should watch it, because my network is really giving me issues. But if you watch the video, you find that he cut costs. He told all those people that were going to Abuja with him, he told them, "All right, it's enough. We're not going anywhere with me anymore. Everybody go home." And he cut costs down, even down to his security detail. He told, "Okay, nobody should go with me. I will travel there, and I will meet police officers there, and they will protect me." And he just brought out money and paid them 5,000 naira instead of paying tickets, paying flight ticket, paying getting cars. Was it cars? Was it the issue of car that they were supposed to use about 150 million to buy bulletproof cars for the governor? And instead he broke down the money and bought 100 cars, Peugeot cars, and was giving it to his cabinet members, giving it to people under him, giving it to judges. And he drove also in Peugeot around the state, and he said, "Nobody killed me, nobody kidnapped me." So the man has been cutting costs. He understands the workings of government, and whether I like it or not, Nigeria is in a period right now where we need to cut costs. Whether we like it or not, we need to cut costs. It is an important thing we need to do. Okay, and nobody wants to say it. The way we are in this country right now, is a lot of money leaking, and people are enjoying from this leakage. Okay, now so somebody asked, "Okay, so what's the problem with Yemi?" Let me leave P2B for a while. So what's the problem with Yemi? Why don't you like Yemi? I don't really hate the guy. When he came in with his Oga, I said, okay, maybe they were looking for a mascot. Okay, which I think they found that mascot in Femi Adesina. As far as I'm concerned, Femi Adesina is the mascot that is just appeasing the West, or maybe the Southwest, or maybe the South, this general South, total South. It's just a mascot. Him and Ikike, as far as I'm concerned, they just put there so that they can just pacify the South. Because as far as I'm concerned, they are not I mean, Gigi that said Nigeria is exporting doctors to the world. I was, as a student of economics, it is one of the most pathetic things I've heard someone in government say, that we are exporting doctors. Doctors are running. This is what we call capital flight. Doctors are running from the country, and they are saying that we are. Then Femi Adesina, I don't want to go to Femi Adesina, because as far as I'm concerned, that man has really damaged his identity, his name, his reputation in this country he has sacrificed his name on the altar of APC politics. So what's the problem with Yemi? VP Yemi, it's not because I think he's a bad person. I don't think he's a bad person. I think he could have been a competent person. But my principle is this. A person who has been a part of the problem cannot suddenly become the solution of the problem when he's made the leader. Let me say it again. A person who has been part of the problem within a system cannot suddenly become a leader of the system and then become the solution of the system. No. If you are part of the problem, if you're looking for a leader, the leader should not come from within the system. The system is problematic. The system is what? It's problematic. So if you are picking a leader from within the system, we have failed. We have all failed. This is why I don't believe that the power supply problem in Nigeria will be solved by Nigerians. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Maybe it will be solved by a Nigerian who has lived years abroad. But if it's power supply in Nigeria, you might need to bring in foreigners, whether it's white, whether it's Asians, we might need to bring in foreigners to come and solve our power supply problem. Why? Because everybody in Nigeria is used to mediocrity of epileptic power supply. This is the same problem with the politics. If you put a leader like Yemi, no matter how sincere he is, yes, he's a man of God. He's a respect. I respect him. I honor him as a man of God. Yes, but he has been part of the problem. He is part of the problem. The problem we are facing in this country, Yemi Osibanjo is a major part of it. How then do we now expect him to to become a leader and then become a solution? I don't see it. Help me see it. If you think I'm wrong, please send me a message. Let me know. Send me a message on any of the platforms and refer to this podcast, or send me a voice message here. Let me know, because I don't see it. I don't know how you will be from transition from being a problem to a solution while you are still part of the system. My best bet, your best bet is Peter Obi. Trust me. He has not paid me to say this. I've not been paid to say this. He doesn't know me. I've never met him before. He doesn't know I exist. But your best bet is Peter Obi. Unless somebody else stands up to borrow. Okay, I saw a post. I think Emefiele is running. How is Emefiele running? How is the body of Christ needs to stand up at this point and begin to make decisions, and begin to look away from trying to appease anybody and look at the will of God. We are not voting anybody because the person is a Christian, or voting anybody because the person is a Muslim. No. We don't vote anybody because the person is woke, or the person is inclusive, or none of that nonsense. We are voting somebody because that person is the will of God, and we are insisting on that person because that person will get into office and subject his decisions to the will of God. That's the standard now. And personally, from what I'm saying, Peter Obi was the only person who said that he was it last year or last 2 years that they were asking him whether he was going to run, and he said, "Why would I want to be the president of a country that is a country that is broken?" I think it was an analogy was using that the engine of the car is bad. Why would I want to be the driver of a car that is the engine is bad? I think that was the analogy he used. He was pointing at the Constitution and saying that the Constitution is faulty. The Constitution is a mess. Anybody who has half a brain and has seen our Constitution knows that the Constitution is a mess. It is a joke. If you take the Constitution and take it to the United States and show them, they will lock everybody in the room and flog them on their bum. Now, what kind of nonsense are people doing in that country? The Constitution is a mess. And he said that the first thing that needs to be done is that the Constitution needs to be rewritten. It needs to be adjusted to fit the Nigeria that we want to see, not the Nigeria that we are forced into, not the Nigeria that we are just trying to run away from military rule and we ended up running from frying pan to fire. So he's talking restructuring, he's talking rewriting the Constitution. Those are sustainable, those are effective changes. Anyone that's coming to you and telling you, I will give you water, I will give you light, that person is a fool. That person should not be allowed within 50 feet of Paso Rock. In fact, anybody who says he wants to rule Nigeria, we should pray that person should die and go and be buried long before the election. We don't want rulers anymore in this country. We want people who want to serve. I've listened to P2P at different times. This one is just the platform. I've listened to him at different places, and he has made it clear that he's a man of service. That he's a man of service. So that is what I'm holding on to. None of these guys have been people of service. You understand what I mean? So I know what I'm looking for, and I think P2P delivers that. Anybody that says he wants to rule Nigeria, that person should not be allowed near Abuja. In fact, we should pray that person should just die and go to the great beyond and go and rest. We don't need rulers anymore. We are tired of rulers. All of them. We don't want rulers. We want people who are ready to serve, who have the intellectual capacity, the social capital to serve, who have the merit to serve. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. So if anybody shows up that can deliver better than P2B, I will jump on that person. I mean, if anybody can deliver better than he, I will go for that person. I'm not going for him because of anything. I'm not. I mean, last time I was shooting for Fela Durotoye. I was shooting for him. I was shooting for the likes of Kingsley Moghalu, Fela Durotoye. I wasn't looking for all these clowns that think that they've been hovering around power for long enough that they have rights to it. How can people be saying let's support him? Let's give. Is the country a gift that we give to somebody because he's a godfather? I don't want to get annoyed this night. All right, so that was the reason why I put that picture and I did that, and I think he's the only reason that I'm going to go to the polls, just to go and vote for him and maybe vote for any other like-minded person. All right, I'm not going to vote for him because in PDP, PDP is not even the party I want to think of, but at least I can vote. I can put my weight behind him. He sounds like an individual, not somebody who is just part of a group or a cabal. He's an individual with a sound mind. So do your research. All right, do your research. Right now, P2B is the minimum standard. Anybody that cannot give us what P2B can give us should be dropped, should be ignored. Anybody who can give us better than P2P, we go for that person. Otherwise, I mean, he looks like the best option right now. So that should be all. I don't push this beyond this. All right. So go to my platform, go to the Project Salt website, go and show support. Go and get our products, get our works, listen to our music, watch our videos. You will be blessed. You will enjoy it. All right. Get our products, get our branded products. Okay, so we'll see you in the next episode, all right? God bless you.